Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over with you what we do in our morning basket, morning time. I know different families call it different things. I think it's most fondly called morning basket, but it can be done at lunch, dinner time. It doesn't matter when, whatever suits your family's need. For us, we technically call it morning time, and we do it mid-morning to late morning. Generally, it's just after we've completed all of our math and language arts, so our core subjects for the day, and then we move into our morning time block is really kind of what we address it as. Now, if you're new here, I am a first-time homeschooling mama. This is our second year homeschooling. I've got a kindergartner and a second grader at present. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more information if you're kind of looking at, what are we doing in our morning time? If you've got older kids, you might want to do something a little different. If you've got kiddos around the same age as mine, 5 and 7, maybe this will be right up your alley. Now, we don't actually have a basket. I keep everything in these magazine holders, and then I use labels for them. So it just keeps it all organized, and that's where we keep what we're working on in our morning time at that moment. So before I hop in and show you everything, I just want to kind of explain how we approach morning time. For us, it's more of a catch-all. I hate to call it that, but it's more a lot of those literature components that we're doing from Ambleside Online. It is our riches that we're doing from Ambleside Online. It's our free reads, and also morning time is when we do Spanish twice a week. So I'll kind of talk about how the schedule looks for morning time every day. It's a little bit different every day, and then I'll share with you what we do on those individual days. I don't really do a loop schedule. I kind of know I do this book on this day, etc., and it's been working out for us for the last, I don't know, what are we in, 8th week actually. That's crazy. So without further ado, let's hop in. Okay, so I've got my magazine holder down here. I'll just kind of go through it with you and show you what we're doing. So full disclosure, if you had watched my videos a couple back, I mentioned that I had printed off this little guy, my morning notebook. It's like a morning menu for my kindergartner. I got it for the love of homeschooling. It is super cute. They have a ton of different covers that you can print off. Love it. I laminated it so she could use dry erase marker on it. This we went strong with for the first 3 weeks of school. She loved it. And then, to be honest, she kind of got a little, she was like, Mommy, I'm okay. I know how to, I know what date it is. I can go up to the calendar and look at it. She kind of just got bored with it. I hate to say it. I really loved it, so that kind of broke my heart a little bit. But you can see it was going over the months, the day of the week. It also had a little time component, the weather today, and then how we are feeling. So talking about emotions, like I said, we went strong for the first 3 weeks and then we kind of fell off. I'm keeping it in here in hopes that maybe if she sees it at some point, it might spark her interest and she might want to pull it out again. So we're not getting rid of it. I'm just keeping it in here to let her maybe just see it and be like, oh, I want to do that today. And if she does, great. If not, I'm not pushing it either. So on Mondays, we always do our Paddle to the Sea reading and the map work that we're doing along with it. If you've not heard of Halling C. Halling, his books, or at least this is the first one I've seen in person. I've seen other ones, flip throughs online. They are so well done. The stories are so engaging and the illustrations are great. The girls love it. So this is our geography reading, I think, for Ambleside Online, for the northeast of Canada and the US. And the girls are loving it so far. We're following along with Paddle to the Sea and his journey through the rivers and the different Lake Superiors and all the lakes and getting out to the Atlantic Ocean. So loving this. We do that on Mondays and it's once a week, super quick reading. Next up, we are also doing a free read. So the way Ambleside Online approaches free reads is they're meant to be just not scheduled, throw in there whenever. I scheduled them in because I'm type A and it just makes me, I know if we won't get to it. So I have basically scheduled one free read per month and we've stuck to that schedule pretty well. We basically read a chapter to maybe 2 chapters a day. First thing that we do in morning time is our free reads. So far, I'm going to go over actually our entire list of free reads for the year and what we've done and what we're going to do. Our first one was Charlotte's Web. Girls loved this book. And they actually, I'm not gonna lie, they handled the death of Charlotte pretty well at the end, but they also do it in a very gentle way. So I think it's not gruesome and dramatic. They kind of just make it as like a part of life. So I thought that was really good for my girls, but they love this book. Next, we read Velveteen Rabbit, which this is obviously a classic from my childhood. The illustrations are beautiful. I found this at the thrift store, but they just love this story. And then they started walking around and asking me, are all my stuffies real? If I say it's real, is it real? I'm like, if it's real to you, it's real. So they now think all their stuffies are real, and it's just the cutest little thing. Next up, starting this week, we are going to be reading The Secret Garden. We're doing the classic starts version, so it's a little bit more digestible. So we're going to do that this month. Then after that, we are doing Stuart Little by E.B. White. They really loved Charlotte's Web, which is also by this author, so I'm hoping they'll really love Stuart Little. After Stuart Little, we are doing, I don't have it up here, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for December. We're actually taking 3 weeks off at Christmas, and we're going to be doing this literature unit study that we have over that time that we're taking off. So that's all we're going to be doing, but I got it from, oh my gosh, hold on. I'll be right back. Let me go find it. Okay, I'm back. So I thought I'd actually bring the books up with me. So I have the original Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, but I also got this version off Amazon. It's the Minalima illustrated version. It is, if you've not seen one of these, they are beautiful. They've got little like flaps that pop out, tiny illustrations within the drawings. Like here's the fat lady to get into Gryffindor Tower. I mean, it's just so well done. So I think we're going to use this version for our reading. I'm sad because somebody did, I think, tell me that Mina Lima is only going up to Prisoner of Azkaban, so the third book, with these illustrated novels. Basically, I think her reason that she's not going to go past that is if she can't put illustrations in there. The books, because they're so big, starting with the fourth book, they would be too big to handle with the added, you can see it adds some bulk to the book, which makes me really sad. But by that point, maybe my kids will still probably like that kind of stuff. So it does make me sad, but we're gonna at least do, I think, the Mina Lima version while we have them. And then we are doing a literature unit from, oh my gosh, what is the name of her curriculum? It's called Barefoot in the Trees, but I think she just rebranded herself. I think if you search Barefoot within the Trees, I'll link it down below, because she rebranded herself, and I can't remember what her new name is because it was just like last week or 2 weeks ago. But look at how pretty this is. Her unit studies are beautiful. And so we're gonna be doing like there's a whole lot that goes into this. We're gonna make our own Marauders map, basically. There's a knitting pattern in here to make a scarf for Gryffindor. Just so many things in here. And we're gonna learn how to make butterbeer. Oh, here's, I'm gonna print one of these off for each of my girls, and they're gonna get a letter to Hogwarts for witchcraft and wizardry. I'm super excited. There's copy work in here. We're gonna learn about herbology. So there's additional spines that you get to complete this literature guide, but you can use these basically as spines for the books that come afterwards. So here's kind of a quick snapshot of some of the books you'll need. I think we have everything except for the Snitch Game, and we need to get the A Kid's Herb book. We need to get that. Oh, and we don't have Wildcraft, but I think I'm gonna try and see if I can get that like during Black Friday on sale or something. So really excited about this. So we won't be doing really any other curriculum at this time because we'll be off for Christmas, so we can just focus on this and just have fun with it. Okay, and then After Christmas, our next free read will be The Trumpet of the Swan. Again, another E.B. White book. The girls, again, really like Charlotte's Web written by him, so I think they'll really like these books coming up from him. And then we will be doing Winnie the Pooh after that, a classic, obviously. Peter Pan, the classic starts version, again, make it a little bit more digestible for my kindergartner who has a hard time sitting for chapter books, so kind of do it a little bit, bring her in for that. My Father's Dragon. And last but not least, we're going to be doing The Adventures of Pinocchio. Now, we're going to be doing this one on the ebook. So a lot of the books scheduled for Ambleside Online are on the free domain, so you can get them through gutenbergproject.com or LibriVox, audio files, all sorts of stuff. So Pinocchio is one of those that is free domain, so I thought in order to save a little money, we would just get this one off the internet. Now, if at any point my girls are really into any of these books and they love them so much, I'll go ahead and purchase the actual physical copy so they can have it. We're also toying, my daughters are downstairs, so I'm trying to be quiet about this. We're toying with the idea of getting my oldest daughter a Paperwhite Kindle, like the kid version one, not a tablet, but just so she can read books, because over the last month, she has just become voracious. Something clicked in her reading. She just can't stop reading, and it's amazing. But I'm also fearful for the physical structure of my home if I have to buy all these books, and I'm afraid it's like gonna cave in from the weight of all the books in my house. So for the sake of space, we might go ahead and get her a Paperwhite Kindle. I haven't fully committed to that because I don't love the idea of a ton of screens, but it's supposed to be better on their eyes because of the Paperwhite technology. So I'm still doing research on that, so we shall see. But if that's the case, then I can bring any books that I get from gutenbergproject.com. I think download those to her Paperwhite Kindle. So I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted on that one. Okay, a few other things that we do in morning time that are pretty much weekly are we review character cards from September & Co. I got these off Etsy. Oh, and I'll link down below anything that I've gotten here that I can. September & Co. through Etsy. She has 3 different genres, I guess I would say, of character cards. I got 2. I got the Character Matters World Edition, and then I also got Character Matters Home Edition. We're starting with the home ones. We've gone through quite a few. The 3rd edition she has is more Bible related. We are a secular family, so that doesn't relate to our needs, so I didn't go ahead and get that 3rd set. But if you are, just so you know, if you are religious, there is a 3rd set that you probably would really be interested in checking out. Also, if you are secular, be aware at the bottom of them there are Bible verses, but that doesn't bother me. So just keep that in mind though for your own personal information. But so we will go over one card on Monday and then another on Tuesday. The way that I've split it up though, some weeks we only go over one character trait. So for example, this past week we were going over flexibility. I asked the girls what it means to them, if they understand what it means. If they don't, then we go over the definition. We talk about what would be the opposite of that, like resistance. How can we be more flexible? And then I ask them, how could you be more flexible? I can blah, 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 blah. And then we go over what they have listed here. It's a quick blip. It maybe takes 5 minutes if we really get talking about it. Because then they'll be like, well, this one time I did this, is that like flexibility? I'm like, exactly. So kind of bringing it and relating it to their day-to-day life, I think is fun. So sometimes we can get to talking about these, but these have been a really good addition to our morning time so far. So that's Monday and Tuesday if we do 2, Monday only if we do 1 a week. The other thing that we do on a weekly basis is on Tuesday and Thursdays, we will read 2 of the Aesop's fables. from the Ambleside Year 1 schedule. I actually did purchase this exact version off of Amazon, but then I decided to return it because I didn't realize this exact version with the illustrations was on the free domain. So if you probably had watched one of my videos before, but where I had the physical copy, and then I realized I could get it on here. One, I wanted to save myself some money, but two, save some bookcase space. So I went ahead and returned that and then just downloaded the free version. So see, the illustrations are still here. We'll do a little picture study with them because they're really like great pictures. So the girls like love to look at those. So we'll do the reading, we'll talk about the moral of the story, and then we'll do a little picture study too, if there is an illustration for that story that day. So I've talked to you about things that we do every week. We do a chapter or two every day from our free read. We do our character cards Monday and Wednesdays. We do Aesop's Fables Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now there's a few things from the Ambleside Online scheduled for Year 1 that we do that aren't maybe every week. They might be every 3 weeks or so. So these I kind of just schedule on whatever day we have the lightest amount of curriculum. And one of those things is, that we started this week by the way, is Shakespeare's tales. We just read A Midsummer Night's Dream, and we do the Charles and Mary Lamb version, so it's for younger kids. It is still high dictation. I even had to Google some stuff to figure out what they were saying, if I'm being completely honest, but they loved it. And I think the reason that they loved it is because I printed off these puppets. Hold on, let me get them for you guys. So I printed off these puppets that were on the Ambleside Online Facebook group. That group just has so many resources in it for free. One of the moms that does Ambleside Online is a very good artist and drew the most of the main characters in black and white, and then posted the file to the group and said, hey, go ahead and print it off. You know, don't sell it please, but here it's for your use, and turn them into little popsicle puppets for the kids. You can color them in, or you can have your kids color them in. Well, I printed them all off on cardstock and I colored them in myself because I love to color. It's a very relaxing thing for me. And then you put the characters' names on the popsicle stick, and then the girls were able, I split them up. There's 10 characters, so I split them up between, 5 for each kid. And then as I was reading the play, they were bringing up the person and they were kind of acting it out. So here's Hermia. We have Helena, Titiana, the fairy queen. I think you say his name Aegeus. I think I called him Aegeus. This is Hermia's dad, who is like, you must marry this man or you will be killed by Athian law. Puck, the mischievous fairy. We have Demetrius, King Oberon, the king of fairies, and then Nick Bottom, which my kids thought he was the funniest character in the world, but they loved it. And I think it was all thanks to these puppet cards. I know they're not true puppets, but like they just slap a popsicle stick on these pieces of paper and they thought it was so fun to act it out, to the point that last night when I was getting ready, we were going out to an event in our little town that we live in, and I was putting mascara on and I could hear the girls in the playroom going, Hermia, Hermia, run, your father is coming, we must leave. It was like, oh, Demetrius, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're literally bringing what we read in school into their play. How cool is that? And it's Shakespeare, and they're 5 and 7. What are the odds? So it was one of those like boom moments where you're like, this is working. This is so cool. So we do Shakespeare occasionally, and I'm doing that again. I didn't want to buy this book because I wanted to first figure out if they even liked it. I will say this goes over the first 3 years of Ambleside Online. So I think I'm going to invest in this and purchase a physical copy now that I know that they like Shakespeare, and just keep going with it. I might have to get puppets for all of them because I think it helps them keep all the characters straight, because there are just so many characters in Shakespeare plays that I think that's where they can get lost, and having a visual aid really help them enjoy it and keep the story straight. Another thing that we do during morning time, but we don't do it again every week, but it might be scheduled every 3 or 4 weeks, is we read a short story from the Blue Fairy book. So this is again one that I purchased just like the Aesop's Fable, and then I realized that I could get it for free, the exact version, on gutenbergproject.com, or I think it's .org, but so I went ahead and returned it to Amazon and purchased got the free download. And so far we have gotten to read the Beauty and the Beast, and Andrew Lang wrote it, is the writer for these. And so I was like, this is gonna be fun because they know the Disney version, which they got from Andrew Lang's version. So it was fun to kind of say, okay, well, how is it different? At the end of the week, we watched the, I think they chose the cartoon version. We watched that again, and I was like, okay, let's do a Venn diagram. How is it different from the original version? And it was so fun. So these classic fairy tales are just loving it. The girls are just it's very much up their alley, and it's very perfect for their age levels. So the one other thing that we do weekly, so after I do all the literature reading or the character cards and all that, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we will do a lesson from Homeschool Languages Spanish 1. The girls love this program. It's very hands-on. There's a lot of activities, games. There's no writing. However, if you haven't seen any of my other videos about this program, I'll link the playlist up above. We really love it. If you haven't seen those, they do have this workbook that you can print off and purchase separately. It's a PDF purchase, but there is writing. It's like a workbook for anybody who's maybe a little older going through it and can write, because they designed the program with children in mind who aren't reading or writing yet, because actually that's the best time to kind of start teaching your kiddos another language because they're more absorbent. Their brains can process it better at that point. But my oldest is reading and writing, so she wanted a little something extra to do. So she does this on Thursdays. So we do the lesson Tuesday, and then Thursday we do the review stuff or any extra that maybe we didn't get completed, but it's a review of the lesson, and then she gets to do her workbook sheet for that lesson as well. So highly recommend. I'll link the website down below, but also check out that playlist I linked up above previously. Give it 2 thumbs up. Girls are loving it, and they're retaining it, and they're actually able to speak Spanish. It's really neat. So those are the main things we do during our morning time block. The only other things that we add in are the riches that we've pulled in from Ambleside Online Year 1 or this 2024 to 2025 schedule, because some of the things are on rotation that everybody does. It doesn't matter what year you're in. For example, we do an artist study from them. So we're actually doing the artist study from last year, which includes Monet, Seurat, and I can't remember who else. I can't remember. But so we'll do an artist study every other week. And then on the every other week, so the week that we're not doing the artist study, we will do a composer study, which we are following this year's schedule. Right now we are on Beethoven. So that's been a big hit. The girls love classical music. Didn't think that would actually be a thing, but they like to listen to it outside of homeschool now, which is kind of neat. The other thing we will do is our handicrafts. We've been kind of slacking on that, actually. If there's anything that we've just not been really good at, being consistent with, it's our handicrafts. I have a basket over here full of yarn and stuff, and so the girls have been doing hand knitting. That's our handicraft for this term, but we got to get better about it because the girls actually like it. It's just, it kind of just time runs out, and that's what gets cut from the schedule, unfortunately. And the last thing we're doing from Ambleside Online is their folk song rotation. So they do one folk song a month, and you're supposed to listen to it a few times throughout the week, try and listen to lyrics, sing it, try and memorize it a little bit so you can sing along. And so they do one per month. So that's like, we might listen to it 2 times a week, but so far they've been fun. It's a lot from the Irish Gaelic community, which is my heritage, so that's kind of neat, and the girls really like the upbeat music. 2 other things that we do that aren't from Ambleside Online are we will do our nature journaling for whenever we've gone on a walk. If we don't do the journaling while we're on our walk, we'll do our journals for during that time. My daughter she drew a tarantula. I hate spiders, and these kids love drawing tarantulas. Butterfly that she saw. Oh, this was an orange mushroom we saw in the rainforest after our rainforest. We were just watching Fern Gully in the forest when we went on a nature hike. So she did the orange fungus that she found. So we'll finish up any drawings or, notebooking that we want to do for our nature. And then the last thing we do during morning time is also our art and craft for Build Your Library Level 0 that we're doing that week. I normally leave this till Friday, so it's like a fun activity. And so we're doing around the world art and activities. Most of them are like paper crafts, so they're perfect for this age. And it's all based on the geographical location we're learning about that week. So that's it. I know it seems like a lot. It also seems like a lot because I went through the entire book list that we're reading for our free reads for the year, but mind you, we're only doing one at a time and we read one chapter a day. So morning time maybe takes, I would say, 45 minutes to an hour at the absolute most. And if it's taking an hour, it's normally those days we're doing a fun art activity, or if we actually include the handicraft. It's not because of all the reading. The readings are very short and sweet, because that's the whole premise of Charlotte Mason, is doing really quick readings for all of your books, because that keeps the child's interest and engaged. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed the little sneak peek into what our morning time looks like. If you have any questions about what we're doing, any of the things I mentioned, leave them down in the comments. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. If you're new here and you'd like to stick around, love to have you hit that subscribe button. My dog is now leaving. He's had enough of me, if you can see him in the background. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It lets me know you like these types of videos, so I continue to do them for you. And it also helps the algorithm to reach other people who might be interested in getting additional information about morning time. And that's it, guys. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.